What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of the Yankees Hot Stove Report. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by my compadres for the evening. I got my guy Jason from 161 River Ave, El Don Sicario, and NYY News, El Numero Uno. Ruben is in the building. Appreciate all of you guys for showing up. Salute. Fellas, how you feeling?
Doing good, man. Getting ready for Thanksgiving, baby.
Oh, I feel you. You got your turkey ready, bro? You got your turkey yet?
Turkey, but not ready. We got a lot of bacon to do tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I
nice.
All the luck with that. Ruben, you got the coqui and the pernil ready to go, brother?
Bro, we got the turkey, and we're gonna put trifongo inside of it, bro. So ya tú sabes, with some arroz con gandula, you know.
Okay, nice. What about you, Don Sicario? Any special family recipes that you guys are cooking up?
Puppy, we got two pennies ready. We're gonna have it all jamon. You know, I'm the most excited that I am right now is for some pecan pie. To me, it's one of the best pies that exists on this earth.
That is so random. Of all the pies that are out there, my man said pecan pie.
Bro,
well, I gotta grab. Go ahead.
It's low key, like really underrated.
Bro, I'm just saying, pecan pie.
I gotta well out that my grandmother, she loves pecan butter ice cream, right? But whenever she asks for it, she's like, "Can you go get me butter pecan?" No, she go to pecan butter ice cream. She says it the opposite way. But appreciate all of you guys that's in the chat. Let's do a little bit of the roll call. I got my guy Anthony Garcia in the building. FJ's in the building. Mr. Ford Train Express, Mikey Mazza. How you doing? Of course, we got Jacob Petruzzi in the building. 19 Con Alex Valerio, Almighty Finesse. Fellas, we're gonna have a good episode tonight. First and foremost, I want to shout out all of you guys in the chat that have been supporting us. We are over 1,700 on the subscribers, 3 away from hitting our goal of 2,000. So if you're watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and hit the like button also. And for everybody that is watching us, on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you guys see the arrow that says content your way. You know how he always says the conversations go because of how the chat is and how you guys circle the conversations. Well, guess what? You're going to have a good one here. If there's anyone that's giving a take and you don't agree with their take and you want to mute them for 5 minutes, you could donate $10 as a super chat. If you want to mute them for 10 minutes, you could donate $15. And if you want to mute them for 20 minutes, you could donate $20 as a super chat just to spice things up when it comes to the conversations. I think that's a bit dangerous, but I think it could be fun. What do you guys think?
I'm all for it.
Look like Don Sicario, he in jail right now.
Son, this ain't nothing.
Man, shout out to my guy G-Man that's in the chat as well. I saw you put up there that you've been having a bad couple of months, G-Man. Just know that we are here for you, my guy. If there's anything you need, just reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter, and we can have a conversation. Anthony Garcia says, mute L Live for the whole stream. Well, you can donate $50 if that's what you want to do. You can mute it. And I'm not going to lie. When I was coming up with this concept, I had L.I. Yankee King, I had Michael Caputo, I had a few people in my thought process when I was coming up with this concept. But fellas, let's start the conversation. I'll start it off with you, Jason, before I bring up the first topic. When it comes to so far the Yankees off season, where do you want this team to go? And let's throw it over to Don Sicario and Ruben. Has there anything specific that you want this team to tackle? I know the Yankees, they just signed that reliever out of Pittsburgh, Yuri De Los Santos. What's your thoughts on that? And let's circle it around before we bring up the first topic.
He's a 25-year-old pitcher with a pretty good repertoire, throws hard. He's got a 95-mile-an-hour sink. He draws a lot of comparisons to Clay Holmes. He was also released from Pittsburgh. And again, Clay Holmes had like a mid-5 ERA, and he's come here now, it's like mid-2 ERA. So I think Matt Blake probably saw some similarities. It gives him something to work with. So I think they got him on a minor league deal, and with the potential that he has, I think they could probably have a valuable bullpen weapon there. So I'm okay with that. And I do think, now that they got their coaching staff solidified, I think we'll see some more player activity moving forward. Now that Yamamoto's finally been posted, I think good things are starting up. But I'm happy with the De Los Santos side.
Yeah, same. Don Sicario, same question. What's your thoughts about De Los Santos? And then throw it over to Rubes.
To be honest, I didn't know much about him. I've been seeing everybody's takes on him, and I got interested, so I started trying to catch some clips on him. And just the idea, just seeing his pitching repertoire and the idea that Matt Blake can take him and kind of maybe make some magic with him, I'm getting excited. Cashman usually he does good with these type of moves. You know what I'm saying? And let's see what I'm more positive this offseason. I've done a lot of complaining, and I feel like this offseason we've been talking about it a lot. I'm excited. So I know this seems like a little move, but I feel like this is one of those moves that during the season we're gonna be like excited about it. So hopefully it goes well for us.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. Ruben, what's your thoughts on the young man?
Yeah, it seems like a good hidden talent, possibly another gem that they find, like Cashman likes to do when it comes to the bullpen arms. I really do feel encouraged about it, just because we're finally over that period in time when we were spending like $40-50 million on 3 different relievers, and now we're actually allocating a lot of that money towards hopefully position players and starting pitchers that this off season, and we're no longer tying that up in the bullpen, because I felt like we spent too much time making excuses as to why we couldn't get certain players because we tied that money up in the bullpen. So I think it'll be good. He looks like he has a good repertoire, and Matt Blake will do his magic. He identifies his pitch mix, and he'll be like, hey, throw this a little bit more, throw this a little bit less. And probably, who knows? It might end up being better than Holmes in that sense. Maybe he could be a closer. Maybe he could be more of a high leverage. We'll see. But it's always nice. It's cheap, so I can't be mad at that.
Yeah, and I see the comparisons when it comes to Clay Holmes because of that sinker and 96, 98 miles per hour. But he's more of a strikeout pitcher than Clay Holmes is. Clay Holmes relies on the ground ball. If you look at Yuri De Los Santos splits in the minors and at the majors this year, he had a lot more strikeouts in the short amount of time he had. I think he pitched 25 innings in the big leagues this year. He was mostly in the minor leagues last year. So he showed some type of promise. But I want to ask you guys this, because I saw this picture earlier of Brian Cashman, and I want to ask you, who is Brian Cashman trying to impress with this picture? I just want to know whose closet did he rob? It looks like he robbed my little nephew's closet. He's trying to show out for the young college kids. What's your thoughts, real quick?
Auditioning for president of the Justin Bieber fan club, looks like.
Oh my Lord.
That's exactly what it looks like, Jason. But all right, let's get into the first topic, and we got to talk about Yamamoto, because the Yamamoto sweepstakes has begun. Yamamoto has been posted officially. He was posted yesterday. Teams can start making their bidding today. My guy Rick on Twitter put it out there. Not signing Yamamoto because the Yankees have good starting pitching prospects is crazy. You sign Yamamoto, and you trade the starting pitching prospects for some bats. Issue solved in just one tweet. And a lot of Yankee fans, and I'm gonna just remove this real quick. A lot of Yankee fans have been saying on Twitter that we don't need to sign Yamamoto because we have a lot of young pitchers in the pipeline. For me personally, when you look at Yamamoto, I know the NPB, it gets compared to AAA, but if you see his numbers, a 1-point-something ERA over the past couple of seasons, he done had amazing numbers over the past 5 years. You compare that to a minor league prospect, he's definitely going to hit on the money when he comes over. It's just how is he going to transition? Jason, I'm going to start off with you. When it comes to Yankee fans or some Yankee fans not wanting Yamamoto, what's your thoughts? And let's circle it back around. Folks in the chat, let us know as well. And James Nolan, I'm sorry, my guy. We stealing Yamamoto from the Mets, brother. We stealing them from the Mets. Go ahead, Jay.
I think it's important to recognize, too, that he was a converted reliever, so the wear and tear on his arm isn't as significant as it was other people. So other guys that are 25 threw a hell of a lot more innings and a hell of a lot more pitches than he did. So that's a big thing, too. So the preservation of his arm is going to be key. But he's considered the greatest pitcher ever to come out of Japan, right? And his stats back that up. And the Yankees got to come in. He's officially meeting with the Yankees. I think it's the first week of December, right before the winter meetings. And so they got to pull out all stops. I heard Matsui is going to be at the meeting. And if I were them, I would have Cole at the meeting. Anybody else, they have to be at this meeting. You need to pull out all the stops to get this guy. And like you said, too, right. I'm excited by Thorpe. I'm excited by Hampton and Will Warren, but none of them are better than Yamamoto right now. Okay? I would rather have Yamamoto and Thorpe, Yamamoto and the Warren, like whatever, and move somebody like Michael King, who I like, in a trade for Juan Soto, right? So that's kind of the way I look at it. And again, he's got to be one of the biggest dominoes to fall for the Yankees, because I don't think they're going to make much moves until there's a decision made on Yamamoto one way or the other. So I think he's got to be the big domino, and whether he comes here or not, they got to do everything they can possibly do to get him here. And once they do that, then they can focus on everything else from there. But I think it's got to be, and it's going to cost a lot. I don't think it's going to be anything less than an 8-year deal. And again, if I'm them, I'm trying to throw an opt out in there. And so you can go cash out at 30. And if you could get 5 prime years of Yamamoto and let someone else sign him on the wrong side of 30, let him do that. So, but he represents, I think, is one of the 2 biggest gets this offseason, and the Yankees have to get him. They want to, if they want to win, and again, if they want to win the fan base back, and the 2 biggest markets this offseason are Dominican market and the Japanese market. He's got one of them. Okay. You want to bring back revenues back here, you get that guy here. You have to get him here, and if you can get him and Soto, you're going to corner the market. So
the key thing you said, Jason, was if the Yankees want to win back the fan base, because let's be real, it's split down the middle when it comes to the fan base. Maybe one side leaning more than the other side, right? The Yankees have to go out. Hal Steinbrenner has to understand that he has to reinvent this franchise this offseason, and maybe a lot to ask of him. But if you want your fan base to come back on your side, the first move you should make is Yamamoto. And with Yamamoto posting, go ahead, Jason.
No, I was going to say, and to your point, I don't think they would have scouted him this heavily and traveled to Japan this many times to take a runner-up spot for him. So he's going to be at the front of the line. He's going to have to deliver like a Mike Tyson knockout blow to bring this guy here. You got to do what you got to do. Get him. He's the one you got to get here.
Yeah, and I know the Yankees weren't making trips to Japan just to pile up the JetBlue points. I know they were actually going out there to actually make a difference. And flying over to Japan, it's not a short trip. 16, 19 hours on the plane from New York City. You're not going to waste half of a day in a tin can in the sky just to go over there and not get your guy. I don't ever remember the Yankees ever going out there to go see Tanaka. I don't remember reports that the Yankees went out there to go check on Matsui. So for them to fly out to go see Yamamoto during the season when it was Old Timers Day at the same time, it was Old Timers Day when they went out to Japan, probably because how they want to get booed again. But still, they went out there in the middle of the season. And I think that's a statement to the fan base. Like, listen, we targeted our guy and we're going to do everything we can to go after him. Jason, any last go ahead.
I just want to add one more thing. Sorry, they wouldn't have brought in this Japanese executive too and part owner of this franchise if they weren't going to be pivoting to this market or investing more heavily into this market. So that says a lot too. And I don't really give a damn what Hal says or Cashman says. I care about what they do.
Yes.
So, and bringing that guy or having a guy like that as part owner, that shows at least indirectly as a gesture that they're going to invest in Japanese players and just overseas. So
want to bring up from the chat. My guy 19 comments said we should be shopping for a hybrid Yamamoto model only this off season. 100%, my guy. Billy Branch, shout out to Billy Branch being in the chat as well. He said, totally agree. Howe has to show us that he views the Yankees as a baseball team that he wants to win, as opposed to a hedge fund / cash cow for his children's to live off of. 100% agree with you, Billy Branch. I'm gonna throw it over to you, Don Sicario. And also, we got 50 people in the building. If you guys can, smack that like button for your boys. And if you're watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button. You know, you can be gentle. You know, got to be very aggressive. Just slightly, gently tap it. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, man, Jason took it out of my mouth, man, especially with the executive that they added on, the Japanese dude. But yeah, I agree. But something I want to say is I'm surprised fans are still like trying to prospect hug. Like at this point in our, you know, as a fan base, how can you still not want to be like, I want the brass to do everything possible to get all the, like after all the misery we've been going through, after all the bad trades, how are we still like, nah, I don't want to give up this prospect because it's so, with all the prospects that we've had that haven't panned out, how can you still have that mentality of like, no, I want to keep this prospect? I get it, Jason Dominguez and this type of, I get that. But the pitchings, you know, with the way our injuries have happened, with the way some of these prospects have not worked out, we're in, believe it or not, the window is not as wide, it's not as open as people think it is. I'm all for just go for it. Like they have the money, they have the we finally in a position where we have what a team wants for a star player, right? The Padres want a bunch of starting pitchers. We're in a position that we're like, oh, hold up. We're looking around, all these other teams have them, but they're not really quite willing to give them up. And the Yankees are like, yeah, we'll do it. So how are we trying to hold that back? Because not only is it going to, let's say they say, I don't want to give these up for Yamamoto, because, I mean, we don't want to get Yamamoto. We got the prospects. You're killing a bunch. It's going to kill everything, right? We're trying to use the prospects for Soto. If we're going to keep them, we're not going to get Soto. And then we're not going to get Yamamoto. Like it's, at this point in our fandom, right? We should be all in. Just do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes. And like how Jason said, it's like we'll see it when we'll believe it when we see it. I'm believing it. I'm in the hype, and I'm gonna choose to be like that. So I'm hoping. Look at Ruben's face. I'm hoping for it. I'm excited right, for this offseason.
I'm right there with you. I just want to give a shout out real quick. I got to shout out Mrs. Grace Monroe, who is in the chat. Shout out to Grace Monroe. If you guys didn't check it out, we got Grace Monroe and we got Gio Unpopular Opinion. They had their debut episode this Saturday. Going forward, every Saturday, you'll see an episode of the GG show, the Grace and Gio show. Make sure you guys tune in. They have a call-in number where you guys could call in, leave a voicemail, and they will answer your voicemails. Make sure you get them in by the latest Thursday or Friday morning because they record it on Fridays. They release it on Saturday. I'm going to be putting the number in the chat so you guys can have the number. Make sure you guys call in and leave a voicemail. Go ahead, Rubes.
Yeah, no. So, by the way, that was a great show. You know,
yes.
Show, they'd be catching everything like a Gold Glove, bro. You know. So,
it's good stuff. Good stuff.
But yeah, when it comes to Yamamoto, you know, Yamamoto, Soto, whatever you want to, you know, we gotta get both. But when it comes to Yamamoto, like it's unreal to think that he's got 3 straight triple crowns as a starting pitcher, you know. And as Jason mentioned, he's a guy that he was a converted reliever. So the first few years of his time as a pro, he doesn't have that wear and tear. So when it comes to that situation, if you think about it, it's like, man, like if they compare it to like a AAA or close enough to like majors, maybe slightly above AAA type of thing, to win 3 triple crowns in a row, that tells you right there that like it's gonna translate to the MLB way better, and especially the ERA. The ERAs have been under 2 for 3 years in a row. Like you put that in the MLB, what is that? Maybe a 2.7, 2.8. That right there is
I'll take
basically
it.
almost Cy Young. I mean, Cole just won a Cy Young with a 2.63. You know,
Yo,
I mean,
I just hold on. I just got to shout out DJ Stills, who is a clown in the chat with the $9.99 super chat. He says, Hector, El
Stairs.
Father, Don, Zico, Ruby 161. What's up, Spanx? My friend went to Egypt for vacation and hurt his back. He had to go to the chiropractor. I'm dead. I walk myself out. Stills, my guy, salute to you, brother. My fault, Rubes. Go ahead.
yeah, DJ Spears is always on something, bro. He's something else, bro. That was a good one. That was a good one. And hey,
Yeah.
short story. Actually, it was funny because when I was in high school, um, the principal for some reason, like it was like freshman year, they're like, "Hey, Ruby Tuesday, Ruby Tuesday." We're going to the. So it's funny you mentioned Ruby because for some reason he called me Ruby Tuesday. But anyway,
Yeah.
getting back to Yamamoto.
Go ahead, brother.
When it comes to that, like to me, it's like he won a triple crown. The guy doesn't have the same wear and tear. Pitching, and when it comes to the Japanese pitchers, they just been hitting every single time they come over now. Like it's and if they don't hit as an ace, they hit as a back of a rotation pitcher. Like they
Yep.
just don't really mess with that. Same thing with Kikuchi, the one that went to Seattle, then went to Toronto. The guy basically was like a mid rotation piece of number 3, number 4 starter for the Blue Jays this past season. So like they hit on like they're almost a guarantee. They're the closest thing to a guarantee with these pitchers nowadays.
Word.
And then remember Kuroda when he was with us in the Dodgers, he was solid. I mean that guy was 200 innings, mid to low 3 ERAs. Like you knew what you were gonna get. And at the very worst, okay, cool. We get a guy that gives us at least 180 innings and gives us a mid 3 ERA.
Yeah.
That would be totally worth it.
And when it comes to Kuroda, like Jason pointed out earlier, when it comes to Yamamoto, the comparisons to Kuroda, because Kuroda, when he first came up in the MPB, he came out the bullpen for the first couple of seasons of his career. It's the same thing with Yamamoto. You don't have to worry about that wear and tear. That's why Hideki Kuroda, when he was over here, he was hardly on the IL, if ever. Right, he was a very durable pitcher when he was over here in the States. I want to shout out my guys from NYYU. You got to throw up the U like this is Miami University. Shout out to my brothers over there, my guys.
How you doing?
For me,
how you doing?
When it comes to Yamamoto, right, and like Ruben said, I mean, like Don Sicario says, the window is closing. Right, you don't have that much of a window when it comes to Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole, I think, is 32. Aaron Judge is going to be 33. So they're getting up there in age, if not reversed, right? So when it comes to Yamamoto, if you have to give him a 10-year offer, like Jason said, let him have an opt-out after that 5th or 6th year so he could go back on the market and make some money. Same thing with Soto. If the Yankees trade for Soto and sign Soto to a massive contract, give them both an opt-out after 5 or 6 years so they could go back into the market and they could reinvent themselves, or so they could get another massive payday, right? Because if you think about it, if you have Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge at the age that they are, by the time that 6 year comes around, they'll be 37 to 38 years old. That'd be the time where you have to start rebuilding with this team. So even if we lose Yamamoto and even if we lose Juan Soto because they go out into free agency and they get signed by another team, we would have the best years for them. 6 years out of both of those guys, that's the best years. How can you argue against that? Jason, what's your thoughts? And let's throw it around before we bring up the next topic.
You got one opportunity now to take advantage of the prime years of Cole, take advantage of the prime years of Judge. You got to maximize it, right? And again, if you give these guys an opt-out, now you got to be willing to take the risk. You give this guy a long-ass deal, but he might not opt out. So you got to be okay with that if he doesn't opt out, right? So, well, if they do opt out, like Juan Soto's a Scott Boras client, he likes his guys to opt out and cash in twice. So I mean, I could see a guy like Juan Soto, especially if he's performing, opting out. I could see Yamamoto opting out as well, but I think taking advantage of the prime years of the guys that really wanted to be here, the guys that are in house here right now, is a good idea. And getting some hardware for Judge, getting some hardware for Cole. I mean, these guys are doing everything they possibly can, and I think they're trying to do everything they possibly can to get these guys here too. So maximizing that window is absolutely critical. You got to do it. You got to do it. Otherwise, it's going to be all for naught. So And again, it's with a combination of prospects, a combination of role players, a combination of star players. That's always been the best combination for the Yankees. So this gives them an opportunity to do that.
And Jason, we are at probably one of the only times since I've been watching the Yankees over the past 20 to 30 years. We're at one of the only times where when you look at our minor league system, when was the last time we could look at our minor league system and say, well, you know what? We got extra starting pitching prospects that we could trade away for someone else. We've never had this amount of talent in the farm system ever. Yes, we saw a little bit of a change when Glaber came up and Miguel Andujar came up. But even back then, those baby bombers that Aaron Judge came up with, besides Aaron Judge, nobody else had at the amount of talent that you're seeing in the minor league level.
Yeah, and to your point too, like I was on a panel that interviewed Chase Hampton yesterday. And
I saw that. Shout out to my guy Nathan.
Yeah, it's one of the things we pointed out. Like this is the deepest we've seen a farm in a long time. We're deep in pitching prospects, deep in position player prospects, and we got to keep restocking the farm. So like, and Hampton admitted that too. He's like, I got Thorpe here, I got Warren here, I got all these dudes here. We just have a straight up lineup of guys that we can just come in and come out and come in and come out. And you're right, man. It's been the deepest this farm has been in a while. So if you're not going to play these guys, if they're blocked by position players, then use them in trades to get other guys. You got to take these opportunities when you can and not block them elsewhere. But if you need to address the need and the only way you could do it is by using some prospects in a trade, then you got to do it.
Yeah, 100%. And like Jonathan says, the Yankees farm system, it hasn't been this deep since 1994. And that's 100. Exactly. That's 100. The early 2000s, the Andy Phillips of the world weren't going to be game changers, right? Though that wasn't going to get you over the hump. But what you have right now in the minor league system, like you said, Chase Hampton, Will Warren, Drew Thorpe, take advantage of it. If you have an opportunity to get a guy like Juan Soto, you got to go after it. Because when you look at the free agency landscape over the next 5 to 6 years, there isn't a guy who's going to be a free agent that's as impactful as Juan Soto is right now. Don Sicario, throw it over to you, brother. Go ahead.
I agree 100%. And you know what? If this isn't going to be the offseason where the Yankees are going to be like, all right, let's go for it. You know, we just missed out on so many superstars. I mean, guys that would fit this team like a glove, son. So many big names that Yankee fans were drooling over. If this offseason, if we don't get the big names that Yankee fans are like craving, like how you said, who's next? Unless they're going to really depend on what they have now, and we're going to just ride through it. And there's too much ifs in that, taking that route. And I'm tired of doing the ifs. We've been going into all of these seasons with a bunch of ifs. Well, if so-and-so can stay healthy, if so-and-so can perform, like I'm tired. I would like to have to go into one season where we're like, all right, bet, this is it. We got Soto, we got Yamamoto, we got so-and-so. Like, let's go for it. Like, what do we wait? Why are we going to continue to miss on all of these opportunities? Because Cashman, his ego, or their pockets are tight? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's Howe's fault, Cashman's fault. There's too many question marks for Brass to not go for it this season, especially with the way everything ended. Yankee fans are mad. They know it. Ticket sales are down. This is the off season. And that's why I'm a little bit excited. I feel like I have a little bit of more hope thinking that maybe things will change. So I'll believe it until I can't.
Yeah, no, definitely. And before I throw it over to you, Ruben, I got 2 chats that I want to read. My guy DJ Still with another $4.99 super chat. He said, this is an LI joke. What do Jesus, MLK, and Lincoln all got in common? All born on holidays. Oh man, Eli, shaking my head. I can't with him. Always Yamamoto, 100%. And my guy Raka Village, that's in the chat. Appreciate you, Raka. Let me know if this is the first time you're in the chat. He says, yeah, guys, I like you guys at NYY Underground and Jason, but I'm sorry, I will not give up Dominguez for Soto. I always said I've been a fan of his since 2009. So sorry, Don, I disagree with you about the prospects. I don't think Don was talking about Dominguez. If I don't want to speak for him.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you were talking about. Yeah,
I wasn't talking about Dominguez. I mean, if I thought I was being clear, sometimes I ran. It's just my energy. But
it's the rolling of the R's for us.
You know, I do Spanish and English. Sometimes it goes all over the place. But I meant it like, I understand the Martian's a different story. I understand some fans not wanting to give up on it. But the prospects, what are we going to argue about? What you want to argue about? You don't want to give up. So what prospect is going to stop you from trying to go for Soto if it's not Dominguez? Like put it in the chat right now. Pull it up. Tell me who's gonna stop you from getting Soto? What prospect?
Yeah, listen.
And I guarantee you, if we dig deep in Twitter,
as much as I love, no, my fault. As much as I love Dominguez, and I know Jason, you guys, as much as we love Dominguez, let's be real. Jason Dominguez, right now at the stage that he is at in his career, it's not coming close to Juan Soto. How many years has Juan Soto been in the league? For about like 5-6 years.
We wish he could be a Soto.
We want him to be a Soto, right? That's what we want him to be. But if it comes down to it, for Juan Soto, if they ask for Jason Dominguez, it may hurt you, but you're gonna have to give it up to get him. But the good thing about it is they're asking for pitching prospects. They're not asking for outfielders. They're not asking for Anthony Volpe, for Jason Dominguez. We may have to throw in Spencer Jones just because they need an outfielder to go back. He's a young kid from Vanderbilt. He's a California kid as well, a local product. So that may be a good sell for their fan base. Look at this young kid that we got back, a local product. They could show their fan base this is a proper rebuild. But when you look at their payroll, how they're structured, Xander Bogaerts has a no-trade clause, right? Machado has a no-trade clause. Tatis has a no-trade clause. Yu Darvish and Musgrove, they all have no-trade clause. The only player that they can trade and get something of value back is Juan Soto. So if you're San Diego, that's the player that you got to move in order to get prospects back. Because if you try to trade Xander Bogaerts, you're not going to get a lot of prospects back because the team has to eat his contract. And same for every other player that I just mentioned. Go ahead, Rubes.
Yeah, and that's that kind of stuff right there. Is like you got to be able to trade the prospects. Dominguez, we understand that's one. The one that I could argue that you definitely don't want to trade is Arias. Arias is one of those top-notch talent Dominguez types. All the other ones, hey, you can have them. And plus, again, they're not looking for shortstops. They're not looking for second basemen. They're not looking for a lot of these guys. Mira, they just DJ Steals, bro.
Yo, Steals is a menace. Steals, go to bed, bro. You're a menace.
Yeah, he definitely is tonight. He's on one tonight.
But if you look at it though, when it comes to the prospects, like at some point you got to give them up. And I what Don Sicario said, when it comes to the fitting like a glove, right? You don't just go for any superstar or so-called superstars, because nowadays everybody's a star apparently.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, you got to go for the right ones. You got to go for the ones that that have performed in the postseason, the ones that can hit top-notch pitching. Like Harper has shown that. Soto showed that even earlier than Harper did, because like Soto did in the World Series, hitting third in the lineup, barely turning 20 years old. I mean, he wasn't even old enough to drink yet. So those are the kind of guys you want to find, is that guys that can hit the pitching, hit postseason pitching, and that they're gonna be able to take on that pressure.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. Like, you got stars that actually fit the type of production you need, because you don't just need guys that perform in the regular season. You also need some guys that can perform in the postseason. And that's what I like about having Soto, because it like combines that that A-Rod type of talent for regular season, right? Where like he could be an MVP type, with the Carlos Beltran prime postseason performance. Yeah. Because Beltran was like, he wasn't a superstar. Like, he was almost there. He's had years that got close, but his postseason, he became like freaking the Puerto Rican Babe Ruth. You know what I mean? Like, he was just killing it in the postseason. And that's what you need, is that you want the postseason performance with the regular season performance. Yeah. And when you mix those two together, Soto brings that. And then when it comes to the prospects, you're gonna block some of them. So this is the point of why they brought Manaya, and why they brought a Sabian, because they're supposed to help Cashman pick which are their guys. Which ones are you going to be the ones to commit to, like you did in the early 90s, where they said Bernie's ours, where they said Jeter is ours. You got to make sure that you are 100% sure of who you're going to pick. Trade the rest, because you gotta build around the Judge, the Coles, the Soto, and plus, and if they don't get an opt-out, I could care less. They're 25 years old, both of them. Yamamoto, they all the same. This Yamamoto to me, it's stuck in my head.
I'm about to
So
say you're right.
Yeah, I'm
Yamamoto.
stuck. I'm stuck with the Yamamoto. Yeah.
Yamamoto is 25 and 25. Okay, so those two right there, even if they don't get an opt-out, they'll probably be one of the best free agent signings we'll have. Because look at Scherzer. Scherzer with Washington. I was actually looking at it. His 7-year deal was probably one of the very best ever as a free agent. Because in those 7 years, he had an ERA of like 2.89 or something like that for those 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically a lock for 215 innings every year with like 270 strikeouts. So, and I'm averaging the numbers a little bit. But basically, like, the kind of production, the mentality. Scherzer was a bulldog. You knew that he was going to go for it. Yamamoto, they both seem to want that smoke. They want the attention. You already hear about how in Japan he likes, I want to go in a big market. It's not like Otani where let me go to a smaller market first or get a big market with a smaller name. You know what I mean? Like, no, this guy's like, I want the smoke. I want to go in.
Yeah.
And same thing with Soto.
No, also I wanted to say too, right? When it comes to Yamamoto, I'm not sure if any of you guys have been like fully watching a lot of his highlights. I know I have, but he is very animated when he's on the mound. When he strikes someone out in a big situation, he's not afraid to scream and yell. You normally do not see that from Japanese pitchers because they carry themselves with a certain type of culture and a respect for the game. But when it comes to Yamamoto, he don't care. That man will let it be known how he's feeling on the mound if he strikes you out in a big situation. I want to highlight a few of the chats. Angelo Siciliano says, first time here, I didn't know. Angelo, appreciate you. Welcome to the conversations. Folks in the chat, you already know what we do. It's Angelo's first time, so welcome him to the Brew Crew. My guy DJ Stills, I got two of them from him. He says Soto's sneakers were still lighting up when he hit a home run off of Verlander. We need Soto. And he had a $4.99 super chat. Soto needed his mom's signature and his field trip to Houston. And look what he did. He also had training wheels on his bike. We need Soto. 100% DJ Stills.
He needs the bars on him. He needs to be in the chat.
We got 70 people in the building. If you guys can smack that like button. If you're watching this for the first time, hit the like button as well. And if you guys can, on the bottom screen on YouTube, hit the emojis. Just keep tapping it. Tap the heart, tap the smiley face, whatever you do, just tap the emojis for your boys. So I want to bring up the next topic, and I'll throw it over to Jason to lead the conversation. But it came out over the past few hours or past 24 hours that the Yankees apparently are showing interest in Korean superstar Jung Hoo Lee. My guys from MLB Deadline posted it on Twitter. Lee is 25 years old. He has a career 340 batting average, 407 on base percentage, 491 slugging, and 7 KBO seasons. When it comes to Jung Hoo Lee, he is the son of superstar Korean outfielder Bung Hoo Lee, who is nicknamed the Son of the Wind. He has a great nickname as well when it comes to Jung Hoo Lee, the grandson of the wind. Jason, I'll throw it over to you. What's your thoughts about Jung Hoo Lee possibly being in pinstripes next year?
Well, I think a couple things, a couple observations. Number one, career 400 plus on base percentage. Who else has that we want? Juan Soto.
Yep.
Okay, base percentage guy. This guy is a lefty bat. Also, we need. Okay, represents potential good leadoff hitter. But I think it's important to keep in mind, like Don was mentioning, Jason Dominguez, right? And if you get Lee and you get Soto, you got to say bye to Dominguez.
Yeah.
No room for him. If you get Lee and a Bellinger, different story. Bellinger can move over to first base. So a couple things for people to keep in mind. But prototypically, he's a 340 guy, and he's shown the scouts have already acknowledged his ability to hit high velocity pitches and putting the ball in play no matter where it's thrown. So he draws a lot of comparisons to other players, particularly Ichiro Suzuki. So he would profile as a really good leadoff hitter here as well, and I think he would translate extremely well. Plus, he does not come with a posting fee because he's from Korea. And so there are a lot of advantages to Jung Hoo Lee. It's going to cost half the price as a Bellinger would. No qualifying offer, no forfeiture of draft picks or international money, just cost money. So I think and it sounds as if the Yankees and the Giants are the two final teams here in on him. that are serious. Now, I can see the Giants making a bid because they did lose out on Judge. They lost out on Correa, so I could see them overpaying for the guy. Go right ahead. But if he came here, I would not be offended.
Yeah.
He's a well-rounded player. I think he would fit in well, and he would give us the top-end leadoff hitter with speed that we need at the top. When's the last time we had a prototypical leadoff hitter? We had Brett Gardner, but he wasn't even a freaking leadoff hitter. So when's the last time we had one?
Jeter.
I can't think of it. So
even Jeter, he was more of a two-hole hitter than anything else. I would say the last time we had an actual leadoff hitter, Johnny Damon, Scott Roses, maybe. Soriano, even Soriano, I wouldn't consider him a leadoff hitter because of the power. But go ahead, Jason. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I find him to be one of the more intriguing pieces. I like Bellinger, but I also worry about his ability to stay healthy over a long contract. I think him and if you got him and Soto would be. I mean, I would bat them 1-2. We got him and Soto. That's what I would do. But that would be a nightmare for pitchers.
Yeah.
Because what you want to do is throw the Judge with two guys on base, and these guys are going to get on base over 40% of the time. So that's creating a nightmare situation for pitchers, which is exactly what we need. Right? So I'm actually hoping he is one of the finalists to be, to come into the Yankees. I would take him over some of these other guys. Like I would actually pick him. He would be my number 2. It would be Soto 1, Lee 2, Bellinger 3. In that order. Because I think he would have more intangibles and more benefits for the Yankees, and I think he would fit better on this team, make him more athletic, more dynamic, more versatile. So and he would steal more bases as well. But I like the on-base percentage. I like the batting average, and those are things that Yankees need. And they got to put the ball in play. He does exactly that. So,
and he doesn't strike out. He doesn't strike out. That's something that this lineup needs. I think he struck out less than 10% of the time. And I think in every season -1, he had more walks than strikeouts. Right there alone, sign me up. That's a very interesting thing. And like DJ still says, you can't spell leadoff hitter without Yama Lee Soto. 100%. We got 75 people in the building. If you guys can't smack that like button, that was hilarious. My guy DJ Stills is killing it with the comment. We got to make sure my man DJ Stills can get monetized off of his comments because he's killing it right now. Go ahead, there, Baldy. Go ahead, Don Sicario. What's your thoughts on Jung Hoo Lee?
I was a little excited to talk about him, but after that Jason comment, if we bring him in, we won't have a Dominguez. I'm kind of like, hold up.
Yeah, I think it's important to think about that one because it's.
You're right. You're right. Sometimes
you bring in Lee, you got to make a tough decision at that point. After Lee, Soto or Bellinger, you have to decide.
Yep.
No, I agree. Sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us, and we get excited and just want the top duels, but then we don't really kind of think about those type of moves that the Yankees will probably have to make. So, but I mean, I like him. He'll be the perfect leadoff guy for us, contact hitter. What was his average in 2023? Like 318, 320, something like that, and like a high, like in the 300s. So, I think that would be beautiful. Like Jason said, you have him up there 1-2 with Soto, Judge behind him. I'm all for it. I would rather have him over Bellinger. I still don't know how I feel about Bellinger. Like I like Bellinger, but I'm not 100% convinced for him. And then he's gonna be expensive unless their plans are to have him in first. Like I don't know. There's too many ifs there, and with our history, those big ifs, they never work out for us. But I like the kid. I wouldn't mind having him on board.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I want to just highlight a super chat from my guy Li, and I'll throw it over to Ruben. But Li Yankee King, DJ Still's favorite person in the world, with the $4.99 super chat says, "This might be shocking, but I give Cashman his flowers for the offseason start. Now he just needs to get me Yamamoto and a side of Ryan McMahon, please." Listen, when Li Yankee King kept bringing up Ryan McMahon in the chat, I'm like, this man is trolling me with Vince McMahon's nephew. But I remember him from that series against Colorado, and he's a good infielder. He could play third, first base. He's a left-handed hitter also. We brought in DJ LeMahieu from Colorado, so maybe Ryan McMahon could be an answer. I'm not too sure. I think that's one of the lower tiers. If you miss out on a lot of people, you pivot to go get Ryan McMahon from Colorado because they're constantly rebuilding at the moment as well. Go ahead, Rubes.
Yeah, like to me, Lee sounds like a really good get, but the way I see it, it's it all depends on who you end up getting and how you get them, right? So I obviously we're not trading away Dominguez in that sense. We want to keep him. So the way I see it is that if we got Lee, it's because we're not getting Soto.
Yeah.
So to me, it's either Lee and Bellinger, Soto Bellinger, but it can't be both Lee and Soto. So like it's all about fit positionally, how they kind of line up together. I'd rather take Bellinger and Soto or Bellinger and Lee because that leaves room for Dominguez. Because the good thing about Dominguez is his profile. He could be the number one hitter. He could be the number two hitter. He could be the number three hitter. He got the power. He got the speed. He got the average. So it all depends on the lineup. So with him and also being a patient hitter like Soto. So let's say we got a Bellinger and a Soto. All right, cool. Then you got Dominguez leading off once he's healthy at center field. You got Bellinger. You got Soto hitting second, being that lefty hitter in front of Judge. You got two guys that are patient in front of Judge hitting while Judge is hitting third, and then you got Bellinger hitting fourth. So you're surrounding Judge by lefties and switch hitters, all sandwiched in between. So now you got the 40 base stolen threat in Dominguez because he stole 40 bases last year. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
So he's the leadoff hitter that we need. He's our Acuna. He's a guy that's gonna hit 30, 40 home runs with a 30, 40 stolen bases. So you put that at top of the lineup with the Soto hitting second, or you could even put Soto hitting third if you want to put keep Judge at second. Either way, those three guys will probably have a 400 on base between the three of them. So that's the way I see it. Now, if we do get a lead, cool. I have no issue with that because you can just slide Dominguez down and hit second, or you can have him hit third. I would probably have him hit second, so that way Judge is hitting third, and you got Bellinger backing up and hitting fourth. Like that's the way I would see it because Bellinger could always slide down once Dominguez is healthy and go to first base, and Rizzo isn't going to be really past this year most likely. So you already got your first base situation solved long term. Now, granted, we do have some options coming up that might be interesting. You know, you could move Ben Rice to first base. He might be a guy that could be the long term first baseman, but that's a what if. Yeah. If you want a sure thing, you want to lock it up because a lot of the Yankees issues, like Don Cicari was saying earlier, we had a lot of what ifs. A lot of the problems that we didn't have back then was that we didn't have what ifs. We had a lot of for sure things with maybe one what if in the lineup or maybe two. Right now, we got a whole bunch of them. Like if we can get a lot more guarantees, then we're good. Because back then, Cashman couldn't find pitching for the life of him. We just won because we slugged everyone, and then all of a sudden the roles flipped. We're amazing at finding pitchers. We're amazing at signing, finding the relievers and the pitchers. But then now we can't even sign the right offensive player because he's trying to remake the wheel with square wheels, you know. But and then shout outs to Pete. I actually was watching the video that about the scouts saying that he would be able to hit because he only has a 5.9% strikeout rate. That's extremely low. So, for example, a leadoff hitter on a normal basis, they play a full 162. They're going to give you about 740 to 760 plate appearances. If your plate appearance is at 5.9, that means that he's striking out under 70 times with that many plate appearances. So, let's say he transitions to the MLB, that raises up to 10%. Well, guess what? 760 plate appearances, you only got 76 strikeouts. So that right there shows that his bat-to-ball skills are really superior. So I do like that. But with him, it's like you got to keep in mind, like I like some of the comps that Pete gave out in that video just before we got on was we got Stephen Kwan type and also a Markakis type. So it could be like Markakis with some more stolen base threat or a Stephen Kwan with a smidge more power.
Yeah, I've seen comparisons to Shin-Chu Lee. You guys remember that was a Korean outfielder that came over. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. He came over with Cleveland. He went to Texas for a few years also. Yeah. That's comparisons, a more athletic and a more speedy version of him. My guy Tyler Tabbitt in the chat says, I prefer Spanish Rice to Ben Rice. Shout out my guy Tyler Tabbitt. That was hilarious right there. I got a few chats that I just want to highlight real quick. My guy Rocka Village, and I want to throw this out there for you guys. Jason, I'll let you lead off the question. He said, here's a question for you guys. Would you trade for Soto, even if it's just for one season, but not guaranteed for him to sign long term? Would you still give up what it would take to get Juan Soto into the Bronx? That's a solid question right there.
Yes.
For me, I've always said if you're trying to go to the casino, you got to spend money to make money. And if the Yankees want to try to be in the World Series conversation, you can't be afraid to spend that money and gamble, even if Juan Soto was to walk away after 1 year. What's your thoughts, Jason?
I'll keep this simple. I would, but if he gets traded here, I don't think he's leaving. They're going to extend him. Period.
I like that energy.
Locking him down. Yeah. There's no way they're going to trade for him and not lock him down. So, but I still would do it.
Don Sicario, and then throw it over to Rue before we jump over to the next topic.
Yes. Of course I would. Of course I would. You know how silly we look if we're looking back at some of our old tweets with some of our old prospects? I wouldn't give him up for so-and-so. Then we look back now, none of them are even with this team. Like, imagine looking back. I wouldn't give up this guy for Juan Soto, a superstar. I don't know. I'll do it.
Yeah, we don't want to have those conversations when we didn't want to trade Phil Hughes, Jabba Chamberlain, and Ian Kennedy for Miguel Cabrera. You remember we was having these we don't want to have those conversations when it comes to Juan Soto.
They're crazy. They want Clint Frazier and Miguel Andujar for Cole? No.
Well, I might have one of those tweets out there. I might have been one of them. Like, hold up. I learned my lesson, yo. I'm not doing that no more. Like, let's go round them up. I'll drive them there.
It's funny because back then I remember like I was thinking like we had the better package for Cole, I felt, but they took the Houston one. And I was like, bro, you should have just freaking overpaid. Because, like, at the end of the day, I looked at Frazier and I was like, bro, we got too many right-handed hitters anyways. Who gives a crap? Like, give up one of them.
Listen, I got upset when the Yankees traded away. Oh, man, what was that outfielder that he got injured in that one game against Oakland?
Dustin Fowler.
Yes, yeah. Dustin, when the Yankees traded him away to the White Sox for David Robinson and Tommy Kahnle, I was so upset, but... He tore his ACL, and you got to give the young kid credit. He came up playing hard. It's bad luck, you know.
Yeah,
bad
I was
luck.
Excited.
Oh, that was a Sonny Gray trade. Yeah, that he went. Yeah. Dustin Fowler went to with Jorge Mateo, who ended up going then to the Orioles. Yep. Yeah, so Dustin Fowler, I thought he was gonna be good. Like I hated that he got hit. Also.
But torn ACL. That you know, that's just bad luck right there. But El Consigliere, a.k.a. Yankee Boy number 7 with the 1999 Super Chat in honor of Don Corleone being a member of this outstanding panel, No Belly, Yamamoto, and Kiermaier to hold it down in center field until the Martian is ready. Get us a third baseman who could get on base and will be pretty solid, but I'll also go after Lee. I'm telling you guys this right now.
I like that.
I'm monitoring. Shout out. Thank you so much, Yankee Boy number 7 for the 1999 Super Chat. If I'm the Yankees, I'm doing everything I can when it comes to monitoring the situation in Cleveland. If the Cleveland Guardians decide to blow it up, I want the Yankees to go get Jose Ramirez. I do not care what anybody said. J-Ram is the guy that I would go for if Cleveland decides to blow it up. 1, he's on a very team-friendly contract. 2, when you look at his numbers, he is an on-base machine. He is an RBI machine. When it comes to with runners in scoring position over the 5 past years, his batting average with runners in scoring position is 30 to 50 points higher than his regular batting average when nobody's on base. So J-Ram, he is a clutch guy. If he was in the pinstripes, I think he will automatically be a fan favorite and will win over that fan base that's in the Bronx. Let's go around the table. What's your thoughts on J-Ram, Jason, or throw it over to Don Sicario and Ruben?
Well, if I'm dropping 20 mil on a third baseman, it's not going to be from Matt Chapman.
Facts. Facts.
Our Cashman's like, hold up. What?
Yeah, I know.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
This guy's he's one of the top 5 or top 7 players in baseball. Clutch hitter. Okay, and Cleveland is notorious for being pesky contact hitters, not striking out a lot. He does exactly the things that the Yankees need. Okay, and they would be crazy to not try to trade for him. Crazy. I would give up the Yankees for.
Yeah, I would definitely give up. When there was rumors about before he signed his contract extension, that's why I wanted the Yankees to go after. That's why I wanted the Yankees to unload prospects for him when it comes to Jose Ramirez. But he wanted to stay in Cleveland. His family likes the city of Cleveland. I can't blame him for wanting to stay in a situation where he feels comfortable at. One of my friends, Jerry Ferrara, my host on the Knicks Morning Brew, he lives in Ohio, and I like to make fun of him when it comes to the city of Ohio and New York City. They don't got that many bodegas out there where you can get a chopped cheese at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what I need. I was putting that out on Twitter the other day. But let's switch topics momentarily. And guys, if you guys have any other questions, put them in the chat. We'll try to get to them as best as we can. If you want to do a $1.99 super chat, it gets priority. It gets highlighted, so we're able to point them out a lot faster. So, guys, please help us out when it comes to the chats and, with the questions. Make this conversation entertaining. But the New York Yankees, they have found a bench coach for Aaron Boone, and it's former Yankee prospect Brad Ausmus. Also, he was the catcher for the Houston Astros. He was a manager as well for other teams. But Max Goodman pointed out there, new bench coach Brad Ausmus was a manager for 5 years and a player for 18. He brings another experienced voice to Aaron Boone's coaching staff. Also, Ausmus was drafted by the Yankees. He was a prospect in their system before Colorado picked him up in the 1992 expansion draft. Jason, I'll throw it over to you. When it comes to this hiring of Brad Ausmus, what do you think this means for Aaron Boone? Is his future secure in the Bronx, or this is just a guy to help him out along the way?
Well, he was a catcher, so it brings a different dynamic to the dugout, and a guy that maybe can connect with some different players that Boone maybe can't connect with. So I think I like that it brings a different dynamic here, and he's like the consigliere, the Tom Hagen to Boone, and he needed a good consigliere, right? So he was a former player, was a contact hitter, and he managed, but he never had really good teams to manage. And now he's going to be here with a much more fortified team than the guys that he was used to managing. So I think he would be a good partner in crime for Boone. I think he'll elevate Boone's managing. Would I have liked somebody like a Nick Swisher, because I think he has an ability to kind of keep players focused and relaxed at the same time? Would have been good, but I can see Ausmus bringing some good value here too. And again, he's also smart, man. He's not afraid to get thrown out of a game, so he'll speak up. So I mean, I'm cool with the Ausmus hiring. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, guys, if you guys can, smack that like button. We got 85 people in the building. We're sitting on 52 likes. Let's get the likes up on this stream. Let's get the likes over to 80. Don Sakari, I throw it over to you. What's your thoughts when it comes to Brad Ausmus? Folks in the chat, my guy DJ still says, Hector, it's Ausmus, not awesomeness. Listen, the speech impediment, okay? New York City public school system, all right? I'm having my way, okay? Go ahead, Don Sakari.
Is it yo, Steelers? He's a menace.
He's on a roll.
I dig it.
If somebody needs to take their big brother's internet away, I think someone needs to take DJ Steele's internet away. Shout out my guy Steeles. Go ahead, Rubes. Go ahead, Don Sicario.
Wasn't he the one that told Joe Girardi like shut the F up or something like that?
Yes, they had
him, right?
They
He's
had
gritty.
Yeah,
I like. Yeah, man. If we could bring, so if we could bring somebody in like that, he's big on analytics, but he still has that, I guess, by the gut. We can use that because Bubbles, Aaron Boone, he's so calm and just and his nose picking and stuff. Like he's so he's so chill. Maybe the guy could, Boone could benefit with having him with him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to see what happens with it. I'm wishing for the best because that's what we want, but. If he could curse out Joe Girardi and bring that edge to it, I'm all for it. Why not?
Yeah, because I remember. I'm not sure if you guys remember it when him and Joe Girardi was going back and forth. Like, shut the fuck up, and Girardi was like, "Me shut the fuck up, you shut up." Yeah. Ruben, go ahead. What's your thoughts on Brad Ausmus?
Like Steele says, awesomeness. Yeah, of course. We're hoping that he will bring that awesomeness there, because honestly, with Brad Ausmus, what I do like is that it's a balance. Because we all know that Boone is un payaso. He's a little, he's a joker, bro. Like he likes to pretend that he'll mimic A-Rod swing, then King Griffey and all that stuff, and
he does him good.
So he does him good. I actually have seen it. Yeah, he's pretty darn good on it. But or go. But but when it comes to Osmos, like I think it'll bring a more serious element that you need, kind of like that hard ass, because this Boone is so, here's your little cupcakes, honey, like here's your little milky,
very melancholy, very yeah. Go ahead.
So I think when it comes to that, it'll end up like giving a better balance, and also it brings experience. If Boone really, if the brass just finally says, you know what, we don't fire nobody during the middle of the season, but we've had it, then you have someone you can truly say, hey, this guy's been a manager before.
Yeah,
he can take the reins afterwards. So it does prepare for like, how does this season start? Does Boone lose the clubhouse? Even though I don't really see that happening, but it also does bring that understanding, because Osmus also played for the Dodgers. He was I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was one of the favorites for Clayton Kershaw. So every time he was a catcher. Most recently too, it's not like he was that far away from the game. Unlike Bubbles, that he probably retired by 2007. You know what I mean? So with this guy, he's been more more of a recent player, so he had more of that exposure to the analytics, and he's able to apply it a little bit better. So hopefully that helps out with Boone's decision making. And he's a catcher, so hopefully that means that he says, "Yo, Booney, the pitcher got it going. Don't pull him out, bro."
Yes.
That's exactly what Aaron Boone needs. And my guy 19 comment, he literally took the words right what I was about to say. Wells could certainly learn a few things from Ausmus. And I think that was one of the main reasons why the Yankees got Ausmus, when it comes to him being a former catcher and having Austin Wells there. When you look at that coaching staff, Austin Wells is going to need a coach that was a former major league manager. Was a major league catcher to help him along the way. Yes, you can have Jose Trevino. Kyle Higashioka can help you out as well. But having a coach who's been there and done that when it comes to Brad Ausmus would definitely help Austin Wells get over that hump. So spring training is going to be very interesting to see what happens, how the catching position shakes out, who's our left fielder, who's our center fielder. I honestly wish we could jump in a time machine and just transport ourselves to spring training to see what the Yankees do, because my anxiety every day waking up, I'm not sure about you guys, I'm checking my phone constantly every hour on the hour to see if there's been any announcements. Go ahead, Jason. I see you wanted to drop something. Go ahead, brother.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you guys noticed, but none of those guys were tender contracts yet. Torres, Holmes, Trevino, there's no news. And they're not on the payroll for 2024. None of them. The guys have it. So we have no idea whether they're working on trades or whatnot. They're still not on the payroll.
Arbitration eligible too, so there's nothing about them discussing the arbitration, nothing.
True. Absolutely right. And all of that would have been out. You see other teams announcing it already when it comes to tendering their contracts, when it comes to getting ahead of the arbitration hill before they have to sit down on the meetings. When it comes to the Yankees and everyone you just mentioned, Jason, zero, silence.
Nada. And to your point too, like Ausmus, and you guys make really good points too. Like Boone's a guy who's like,
no. Damn, he brought it back.
Bro.
So it's gonna be a nice compliment. It's gonna be a nice compliment. I had to throw that in there for you guys. So
we gotta
that was perfect. That was perfect, bro.
That's actually, I sell stickers when it comes to that. I'll send you guys pictures of them later on after the stream. But my guy 19 comments said, make sure you drink more water, Hector. Oh, I'm definitely drinking my water. And this is a perfect pause in the conversation. If you're out there, make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you drink your water, and make sure you're checking in on your mental health. If you guys have friends out there that are going through it, make sure you check in on them. It doesn't take more than 30 seconds just to call in and check on your friends, your families, your relatives, whatever it is. If somebody's going through something, just make sure you're checking out on them. When it comes to the holiday time is a part of the season where a lot of people unfortunately take their lives because of whatever they're going through. So make sure you're checking in on all of your friends. I just always like to take a pause in the show. 19 comment. Thank you so much for reminding me, right? So I appreciate you for that. But we got one more topic to talk about before we start throwing it around. And this is a topic that actually Don Sicario sent me in our group chat, and he wanted to have the conversation for it. You guys been hearing all the rumbles but the Chicago White Sox are having a fire sale. You got Dylan Cease, Yoan Moncada, Luis Robles Jr. If they are available, who do you think the Yankees should go after, if they should go after any of them at all? My guy Joe Drafts says, and he's a diehard Chicago White Sox fan, so he's hurting right now. He says it's crazy, this crazy, exciting young core of players that the White Sox were able to accumulate from 2015 to 2018 that looked dangerous, resulted in only 2 playoff appearances in 2020 and 2021. Now they're going to try to rebuild, and they're going to be trading all their prospects who they built up years ago. So I'm going to ask you, Jason, when it comes to the White Sox and their fire sale, do you think the Yankees should pick up the phone and try to see if they could get any of them?
Steele's got me, by the way. I think I caused him to have a flat on a flat tire. Speaking Spanish. My apologies, Steele's. Sorry, but
nah, I disagree, Steele's. I disagree. I think that was beautiful.
I loved it.
Jason, that was beautiful. You keep going, bro.
Much appreciated, man.
Beautiful.
You spoke Spanish better than Michael Scott from The Office. That's all I'm going to say when it comes to that one, Jason. Go ahead, brother.
You leave that man alone. That guy is a saint, okay? You leave him alone.
There's one guy from the White Sox that I probably think is the most doable that I would get under any circumstances, and that's left-handed reliever Garrett Crochet. He's a 23-year-old left-handed fireballer. They already traded Bummer to the Braves.
Yep.
Luis Robert is going to cost a farm and a half. Well, I like him, but he also is not a lefty. Dylan Cease, I'd rather have Yamamoto. So I can see Dylan Cease. If Yamamoto doesn't happen, I could see that. But, like, I think right now they should be on the phone with the White Sox saying, I mean, they can maybe make a Gleyber Torres trade for Garrett Crochet, something like that. Or some infield prospects or something. But I think he's gettable. He's 23. He's got 3 years of arbitration left, so he represents a perfect fit for the bullpen. And there's no guarantee they're going to bring back Wandy, so we need a lefty arm in the bullpen. So he's the one I think would be a no-brainer for the Yankees. But I'd be open to other guys too, but he's the one guy I have my eye on, like hard.
Don Sicario, I'll throw it over to you because I know there's a topic you wanted to talk about. Go ahead, brother.
I agree with Jason. I think I've been calling him Kopesh. I think I've had the name wrong.
Kopech.
But no, that's exactly the guy. Lefty. Isn't he? He's the righty. Is that the one that's really tall? No.
He's like 6'6", right? He throws 100.
Yeah, they compare him to Chris Sale because Chris Sale came through the White Sox system also.
Yeah, he came through the Chris Sale trade. He was actually under the Red Sox.
Yeah, him and Yoan Moncada came over from the Chris Sale trade.
That's right.
If the Yankees have the opportunity to get Luis Roberts, that guy to me is an animal. You know what I'm saying? He had 38 home runs. Bro, he's a beast. And I know we want lefties, but that guy, just his whole demeanor, I think he's clutch. You know what I'm saying? His batting average is not bad either. He's a slugger. So I would love for the Yankees to make some moves with them. The last time we made some moves with the White Sox, it wasn't bad, right? We had Tommy Kahnle. We had the Jersey boy, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Little League Yankee or whatever. The Todd father. I wouldn't mind, making a move with them. So I'm on for it. Go for it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rube. Same question going your way when it comes to the White Sox. Yeah,
when it comes to, if you can get Luis Robert, cool. No problem. That's a good target to go for. If you're going to go right-handed, why not go big? And he's a top of the lineup type of guy. He can steal bases too. So, again, another Ronald Acuna type. You can hit him leadoff, put Dominguez hitting second or whatever. Now, that might cost Dominguez, though. So that's the tricky part with the White Sox, because right now with Chris Getz as their general manager, he's looking to restock that farm system, and it looks like he's going to be aggressive. He's not going to just go and trade him for anything like the White Sox have done in the past. So when I look at the White Sox right now, there's some interesting names. The one that really intrigues me is Moncada, because Yoan is a switch hitter. He's a guy that has shown to hit for average in the past when he's right. And I think, his contract is actually pretty good. He got club options, so you could deny his club option if he's not good in 2024, and basically just cut ties with him. So, it brings up an interesting trade scenario that you can bring up for him. Let's say you end up trading a Gleyber. We have Peraza at second base or something, and then let's say LeMahieu is they're willing to take LeMahieu back to get more prospects or whatever. Maybe we can clear up that payroll. Have Moncada be that starting third baseman. That's something that intrigues me, because now, let's say we get Soto. Let's say we get Soto. We do sign Bellinger, move a couple contracts here and there, bring in Moncada. Now you're looking at a few switch hitting lefties. So you got like leading off Dominguez, you got Soto, you got Judge, you got Bellinger, then you got Stanton, then you got Moncada. Then it starts getting deep. And there's a lot of that lefty-righty matchup that you were looking for, especially with the 09 team, where we basically had 3 right-handed hitters in the entire lineup. Everyone else was lefty or switch. So that's the kind of thing that I look at. I think Moncada just needs some structure. Lance Lynn came out and confirmed some of the things that Middleton said when he got traded to the Yankees, saying that they were just BS and doing whatever the hell they want. And I mean, granted, when you have Tim Anderson as your leader of the clubhouse, that's what
I knew he was gonna come up.
So I mean, you know what I'm saying, man. But you gotta come straight up, man. As he talks, he's like, half the time when he's talking, he's like, bro, just say what you want to say, bro. Like, say it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff right there that the White Sox, it sucks, because you look at that club, bro. When the players they had, that should have been a 100-game winning team. Like, they had a squad.
Oh yeah.
Like, when you had Kopech, you had Cease, you had Lynn when he was good. Also, like, you had a nice staff. You had a really nice bullpen. That team, and under the right structure, and instead of this mediocrity of a management that their owner has allowed to be there for 20 plus years, like, if they would have actually spent the money. And because that's the thing, they were smart. They extended Jimenez early. They extended Pantera. They did all the right deals. And you're telling me that you couldn't get the culture of responsibility and winning there? Like, come on, bro. 2005 was by accident at this point. It was literally by accident, because, like, that is the most luckiest World Series I've ever seen. Because, like, at this point, it's like they haven't been able to replicate it at all. So, like, I feel bad for the White Sox fans. Like, hopefully Chris Getz is able to bring them a better culture, but Reinsdorf needs to kind of wake up a little bit when it comes to, like, hey, hold the people accountable, bro.
Listen, Reinsdorf is the same guy who decided to not bring back Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman for another year because he wanted to rebuild and he thought his GM was the smartest person in the room. Look what happened to the Chicago. Look what happened to the Chicago Bulls after that. Look what happened to the Chicago White Sox right now. And I truly believe karma is always going to catch up to you. And the way that he treated a lot of those veterans on those Bull teams is the reason why he's having issues right now when it comes to the White Sox.
He even traded Elton Brand, bro.
Bro, there's so many players that he traded, bro. It's ridiculous. When you look at the White Sox from their first playoff appearance in 2000, every season, the off season going into the regular season, they were always picked as World Series favorites. They was always picked as the team that's going to explode on the scene, and they never lived up to any of that hype. When it comes to Moncada, I'm with you, Don Sicario, because Kenyon Middleton, our friend from Foul Territory, they brought it up as well. When it comes to the White Sox, it's just chaos over there. They interviewed Ozzie Guillen. Ozzie Guillen is like, I don't know what's going on. They asked me certain questions, and I'm like, what are you doing here? That's not how you conduct the interview. AJ Przinsky, who is a diehard White Sox fan because he played on that team, he embraced the city of Chicago. He said they are in a mess right now. Like, when it comes to the White Sox, if you are a White Sox fan, I feel bad for you. The White Sox are in the bottom barrel of Major League Baseball right now. But I know we got a few more minutes before we get out of here. There was one topic that I want to bring up, and if any of you guys want to bring up a topic, we could just discuss it as a quick roundtable real quick. But Trevor Bauer, there's been rumors and rumbling on Twitter. He responded to Gary Sheffield Jr. about him wanting to play for the Yankees. I don't really know how real it is. I think it's just Trevor Bauer trolling because he is a major troll on the internet. When it comes to me and Trevor Bauer, his baseball talent, you cannot deny it. He is a phenomenal pitcher. You can never deny his talent. It's just everything else that comes with it. His YouTube, the podcast, all that extra outside noise. I think that's why the Yankees will stay far away from Trevor Bauer. But like I said, you can't deny what he could do on the mound as a starting pitcher. Will it translate now being out of Major League Baseball for a couple of seasons? I'm not too sure. If Bauer wants to come back as a reliever, as a closer, I think he's crazy enough in the head to try to come back as a closer. But for me, if I'm the Yankees, I'm trying to rebuild this offseason and win back my fan base. I'm not going to alienate a bunch of my fan base because they don't like Trevor Bauer. Jason, throw it over to you and then circle it around the table.
I think he's just pining to get it back a job in the major leagues. I don't care where the hell it is, right? I don't think he cares where it is. I'll go play him wherever, Cincinnati or whatever, right? So I think he's just desperate to get back here. And the fact is, like, he's been cleared of criminally and all that stuff. I get it. And lost some years, but he's still getting dudes out in Japan. So there's something there.
At a high level, too.
Yes, at a high level, exactly. So the question is, what team is willing to put up with all that additional stuff? And the Yankees are not in a position to right now to deal with that. They have so many more bigger fish they need to fry than even consider a Trevor Bauer. Again, like, I would never do Trevor Bauer instead of Yamamoto. Trevor Bauer instead of guys. I wouldn't do Trevor Bauer instead of Montgomery. Like, he'd be, like you said, to a reliever or on a minor league deal or something like that. You want an opportunity? We'll give you a minor league deal if you stay out of trouble. Okay, we can do that. But, like, I don't think for the Yankees, I just don't think he's the right fit for the Yankees in the position that the team is in right now. But I can see him getting big somewhere. He might go to Baltimore. You never know. Seattle, a little bit of a more low key, smaller market is probably a better fit for him. But you're right. He brings a lot of. He's crazy, man. So
I can see him in Texas.
Texas, yeah, I can see him.
That's a good one. Too.
Boston.
Yeah, absolutely. Boston. That's a good one.
Arizona, Anthony Medina in the chat just brings up, I will watch him go to Arizona. If anything, that's a good choice right there. Like Sean Browning just said, especially after the drama from Domingo Germán. You remember how split the fan base was on Domingo Germán? It'll be the same situation when it comes to Trevor Bauer. And again, I want to emphasize this. When it comes to his baseball ability, he could definitely help us out on the field. I'm not denying what he could do as a starting pitcher, but I don't think Hal Steinbrenner wants any of his Yankees to have a YouTube page. I don't think Hal Steinbrenner wants any of his players to have a podcast or anything else. There's a reason why Glaber's in trade rumors this offseason. There's definitely a reason why. Go the Clay way. Go ahead, Don Sicario.
All right. Like how you said, his personal life, his personal business, that's on him. I was one of the dudes that after Germán went through what he went through, I was okay with him, especially seeing all the pictures and videos of him and his wife and the family that they had. Like, everybody deserves a second chance. I'm real big on that. Bauer, when all the rumors happened with that whole situation with them chicks, I was really like, man, this dude, but then as time has gone by, I'm like, you know what? I see what happened here. Imagine if the Yankees went and got Yamamoto, they brought in Soto, and they're making all these moves. And to finalize the offseason, they bring in Bauer. Now you definitely talking about we're the evil empire. Bring in that hate, bring in that edge. You want to talk about somebody that's edgy? You bring that guy in there. He's a little bit crazy. We all are. Everybody right now that we see on this panel, we're all a little bit crazy. Let's not lie.
I'm a little bit not there.
Mine might be a little bit bigger than most, but
we're just a lot of bit,
Exactly.
But he's a good pitcher.
Yeah.
He's still doing it in Japan. He probably won't even be that expensive, let's be honest, especially if the Yankees are like, yo, we'll cut you a deal. What's up? To be in the Yankees, I think he'd do it. To be there to compete next to Garrett Cole, he's already confirmed. Well, we haven't heard Garrett Cole confirm. I don't know if there's been word or anything.
He doesn't go on social media. He doesn't
do that. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna, I'm okay with it. I've done videos in the past about bringing Bowers back. Like, I would be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? He's still at the end of the day, we want a good team. And we're gonna not want to bring in a good pitcher because of his personal life. And I hear a lot of how they say just keep politics or keep all of this out of the game. So let's do the same thing. Let's keep their personal life out of it and just focus on the athlete. I know fans are going to be split on it, but at the end of the day, that's what brings the money, right? Controversial. The media's going to love it. They're going to see all the chitter chatter on Twitter. I think it's a win-win for everyone.
I think, and I'll just throw it over to Ruben. I just want to make this one point, Ruben. I'll throw it over to you. When it comes to the Trevor Bauer situation, I think not just the Yankees, but just MLB organizations in general, I think they care. And I know this may not be what a lot of fans want to hear, but they rather get approval from sponsors than approval from the fan base, right? Yeah. All these teams care about is if their sponsors are going to stop supporting them, if their sponsors are going to stop buying ad space in their stadium, right? Yes, if some fan base come out tomorrow, if some of the fans like, I'm not buying tickets for any games this year, I don't think any team would be like, oh man, they're not going to come to any game. No, but if any of their corporate sponsors, if Delta came out and said, you know what, you signed Trevor Bauer, we're pulling out of our sponsorship and you won't have the Delta suite anymore. I think the Yankees will be like, okay, let me back up a little bit. Let me pay attention to this Trevor Bauer as much as I want you. They love that Delta suite and that Delta corporate sponsorship more than any of the fan base and more than any of the players, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got a point.
Go ahead, Rubes. And I want to shout out to Spinning Mantis in the chat. Shout out to Spinning Mantis. That is a dope profile picture. First time seeing him in the chat. If you guys can, welcome the Spinning Mantis to the conversation.
Welcome.
Go ahead, Rubes.
But yeah, when it comes to Bowers, like, yeah, I definitely agree. Like, the sponsors pull out, they're not gonna do it. But if like, given the recent, him like basically having the proof showing that this chick basically was baiting him, saying her next victim was the LA Dodgers pitcher, all this other stuff. So there's a lot of things that came out, like showing that she targeted him. But when it comes to the pitcher, right? Like, let's just focus on the baseball side of it. There's a lot of pros for it. We already know he's a Cy Young. If it wasn't for that one season where he got hit in the shin, he looked like he might have been the Cy Young instead of Corey Cooper that year, because he had a 2.27 ERA in Cleveland that one year. Then you had the one Cy Young season in 2020 with the Reds. But this guy was ahead of the curve with a lot of the stuff about, like, this guy literally, and this is what I like about his YouTube channel, is that he shows the day-to-day of the pitcher. And he's very methodical, scientific about his approach, right? So he takes his blood every day and tests the levels to see if his body's fully recovering appropriately. So he's really big into that injury prevention. And then he's also a guy that he's a believer in innings. He's a believer in going as much as he can. Like, so I think in that sense, you have a guy that by himself, he's going to hold himself accountable to the performance. Like, no one's harder on him than himself. Now, what I do like about him also as well is that he's a guy that he's not going to take a lot of years. You could, sign that 1 year mercenary type of deal and that's it. He's gone, builds his free agent value. And he's a guy that even if, let's say, he signs a 1 year deal, he's a guy that he's been in the past saying that he wants to change the way free agency works. He's the big reason why you see the 3 year and $40 million deals with Verlander, with Scherzer to the Mets. So he's the guy that started that. He wants the short-term high AAV because he says we need to see more of those guys that are willing to bet on themselves on a short-term basis. Because he's a guy that is really a big believer into, like, maximizing profit while also maximizing your performance. So, like, so I think he's always keeping that pressure on himself. So I do like that aspect, and the fact that he said that thing with Cole. They were young. They both went to a College World Series that year too. So, like, it's a lot of, like, they just didn't see eye to eye. But they're grown men now. Come on, Like, I think at this point it was overblown by the media. The media likes to make everything look extra and everything, and hyper polarized with all that bull crap. So listen, I think Bauer in that aspect, he could be a plus, but I think that's if we miss on Yamamoto. That's also if you want to do as a cherry on top and you say screw it, Evil Empire, full blown, let's go and do it. I can see that because you got a lot of names around it, so he's gonna have to level up his game and be like, shoot, I got this guy next to me. I got this guy next to me. I better stand out. You know what I mean?
He gonna be looking up
So
at Judge like, oh, okay.
yeah, and Judge and Big G are gonna be like, "Hey, papi, tranquilo, like you gotta chill."
Yeah, no, and like FJ said right here, this is a perfect one right here. Sponsors, they have to consider the money they make from their association with a team as well. A
Yep,
sponsor is not going to end a profitable relationship over signing a player who would improve the team. No,
That's
100%
true.
FJ. And like I said, it's so many different scenarios, or so not scenarios, so many different equations that go into this conversation when it comes to Trevor Bauer. Like I stated from the beginning, when it comes to him as a pitcher, as an MLB player, you can't deny what he could bring to you on that mound as a starting pitcher. You can't deny it. It's everything else that comes with it, or the outside baggage. Like you said, like the both of you guys said, we're not sure if him and Garrett Cole had conversations behind the door that none of us was privy to. If Garrett Cole was able to publicly mend his relationship with Josh Donaldson, and how the media made such
exactly.
a big fiasco over that thing with Josh Donaldson, I don't think the Trevor Bauer situation between him and Cole, I don't think it could go out of hand, or I think they could have the same type of conversation like him and Donaldson have. But like I said, when it comes to building a championship team, you can't deny what Trevor Bauer can bring to your team as a starting pitcher. It's just everything else that comes with it. And if I'm Hal Steinbrenner, I'm more worried about the sponsors pulling out than anything else. That's just how I see it when it comes to that.
I see him with Matt Blake. Oh my god, bro! Like those two talking it up with the,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, like I
When
can
it
just already see like, yo, Blake, we gotta go and do this little angle and throw this pitch over here, and you gotta take this guy's blood because you want to make sure that you don't that his elbow don't
mhm.
blow out. Like, oh, bro, like
when
he even tests like with like the imaging on his arm,
mhm.
like. He can tell you like, oh, my ligament is like stretched out to this point. It's supposed to by in a couple of days be down to that. Like it's crazy. Like he's detailed.
When it comes to like you said, the details and the science behind pitching, he is a weeb. He is definitely a dweeb when it comes to looking into that extra information. And like you said, him and Matt Blake, he had a relationship with Matt Blake when he was pitching
Yes,
for
In
Cleveland.
with
Cleveland.
He
Cleveland.
had a great relationship with Matt Blake. They were constantly talking when Matt Blake was in Cleveland, working with Matt Blake in the reason why Matt Blake became such a big commodity when it comes to being a pitching coach was because of Trevor Bauer, and Trevor
Yep.
Bauer promoting the hell out of him. So they
Right.
definitely
Hmm.
have a relationship. But guys, we're gonna start wrapping it up momentarily. I'm gonna just throw it around to everybody that's on the panel. I'm gonna start with Jason, Don Sicario, and then Ruben. When it comes to a final topic, Jason, what's your thoughts? What do you expect for this team to do going forward? Anything that you want to point out? And also let the people know where they can find you on social media. I know everybody know Mr. 161 River Ave, but if they don't know, let them know, brother, and let them know when you have your shows and when you go live. Go ahead, bro.
I appreciate it, man. Honestly, I think that the offseason for the Yankees revolves around Soto and Yamamoto. Everything else after that is icing on the cake.
Hmm.
So um, I do think those two moves need to happen. And if they don't happen, they need to quickly pivot. Really
Hmm.
quickly. Don't waste the offseason waiting and trying to wait out other teams and blah, blah, blah. Because guys are going to come off the board quickly. Before you know it, you're going to wake up and be like, shit, this guy signed? Damn it, what the like? And all of a sudden, the guys you were thinking of signed with another team. So
Hmm.
have to be quick, and they got to be decisive. And I think if Yamamoto happens, you move on to Soto quickly. You make those two happen, and then I think you get the pieces. If it's a Kiermaier or if it's a Candelario, I'm cool with that. If you get those
Hmm.
two pieces, you could build around it nicely. So, and I also think another reliever would be a good idea for the Yankees.
Mm.
They're good when they have a good
I
bullpen,
like
and
that crochet thing you said too.
yeah, I mean, I'm confident in their ability to either trade for one or find somebody like Ian Hamilton or like this guy Dos Santos out of nowhere, and they do a good job at that. So, but if
Mhm.
Crochet, like you said, Ruben, like if they can get a guy like Crochet, that's a good weapon, an established weapon. I think that would be a good idea. So, that's the kind of in a nutshell. I think those two moves have to happen, man. They really,
Mhm.
really do. And everything else, you don't even have to worry about finances if you get those two guys. Like
Mhm.
Word.
you just cornered the two biggest markets, the Dominican market and the Japanese market.
Bingo.
Forget about it. With the right
There you go.
guys. with the right
Jersey
guy.
sales on those two in New York on the first year. Yeesh.
Yamamoto will help you bring in the sushi sales. My guy Juan Soto will bring in the mofongo trucks outside the stadium.
Chimichurri trucks.
If you want to get freaky with it, have your guy Jung Hoo Lee bring the Korean fried chicken to Yankee Stadium. Put that in the chicken buckets instead of the chicken tendies. If you want to get freaky,
We eating, son.
Hey,
stir
if
it
they
up,
get
stir
Bellinger,
it
you
up.
got the Bellinger. Yeah, Bellinger sounds like a burger to me. You know what I mean? Like you get a
Bellinger's
mega
gonna
big
bring the
old burger.
best bud possible to New York, and let's be
A
honest,
belly
he has
burger.
the best bud.
Facts. Don Sicario, same thing going your way. Final thoughts for the night. And also let the people know where they can follow you on socials. I put everyone's Twitter handle is in the description of the video. Guys, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter because I'm going to start doing Twitter spaces when it comes to Yankee content. There aren't many Yankee content creators that are holding now Twitter spaces. I'm going to be doing Twitter spaces going forward. So guys, make sure you follow Yankees Morning Brew on Twitter, Project Nerd HQ on Twitter. Also follow Ruben, Don Sicario, and my guy Jason on Twitter as well. I got my guy Retire Warbets in the building. Haven't seen you in a minute, my guy. Hope all is well. Don Sicario, go ahead, brother.
I'm hoping that they do the Yamamoto, get Yamamoto, get Juan Soto. I've been on the I've been one of the Yankees to just focus on Juan Soto. Of course, the Yamamoto, we need that, but I believe that our bats have been our biggest issues in the postseason. And I feel like a bat like Juan Soto is the perfect starter. Of course, we're gonna all hear that's not gonna fix all our issues. It's a damn good start. Let's be honest. So Yamamoto, I'm all for it. And like how Jason said, a reliever for the bullpen. There's one that I've had my eye on, and maybe we can use Glaber in a trade with Seattle for Munoz. I really like that guy. I feel like it might take more than just Glaber. And I mean, we have so many prospects, infielders, pitchers. Like the farm is good. Cashman, salute to you and your peoples. I get it. I wouldn't mind bringing him in, and I think that would be good. That's the starters. Everything else you could kind of sprinkle along with it. And for myself, me and Ruben and Felix, we're doing a lot of work on the channel, on the NYY News channel. If you could check out my show, Don Yankee con el Bori. I got my co-host Ruben with me. We have Execution. Follow us on Twitter. Follow my guy Felix La Mente Maestra that's been putting all of this together.
Yes.
NYY News on Twitter and NYY News on the channel. So, but just salute to everybody. Jason, you, Hector, Jigga, everybody that y'all all show mad love and y'all don't understand what that means to the little guys. You know what I'm saying? Like we all want to talk. We all want our opinions out there. And you guys, you present it. You let us go on the show. You tell our comments. You speak it out loud. So salute to everybody there. Salute to everybody in the chat. My guy Steels, go to bed. I hope you're in bed right now. You've been a menace. You've been a menace. Shout out to Steels. So I'll leave it at that. Ruben, hold it down.
Go ahead, Rubes.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, Rubes. And support is free. Folks in the chat, just know support is free. If you just hit a like button, if you hit a subscribe button, hit a follow button, it helps us out with the algorithm. And it's all free. And we definitely appreciate you. They haven't muted anybody here, just so you know.
We had good takes. We had good takes.
For the open panels on Thursdays, we will definitely have it. If you want to freeze someone, if you want to freeze L.I. Yankee King, my guy Michael Caputo, you could definitely do that. Go ahead, Rubes.
Yeah, no, definitely. Soto, Yamamoto Belly, whatever you want. Like those are my top three. I say go big or freaking go home, bro. And I hope they go big because, bro, the deadline they went home. They went home. So we need to go big. So get me Bellinger, get me Soto, get me Yamamoto. Like those three set you up where it makes you not have to hit on every single prospect, and you can make the most of them. Pick out the ones that you trust, trade the rest. It just clears up everything for them. And I mean, just talking about the White Sox, Moncada really intrigues me, bro. Like he had a year where he hit 300. So like I'm here thinking, man, like if you guys get that guy right, put him around the right people, he might be a guy that could be like, boom, like, oh snap, we found this guy and he's killing it, and we got it for cheap for an extra year with a club option. So, but yeah, definitely, at Cruz Yankee fan is is my Twitter or X, whatever they want to call it nowadays. You know, the X Twitter X whatever, and yeah, and when I use on YouTube, as Don Sicario said, you know, we got our shows there, and then follow 161 River Ave, of course, with Jason. He's been doing content for quite a bit as well, and then. Of course, Hector, you know, showing the love as always, bro. You know, like la familia, bro. Like you know, he's like that primo that we didn't realize we were related. You know what I mean? Hey, primo, I found you, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You know, us Puerto Ricans, we got 3 or 4, 5 or 6 cousins out there that as soon as we meet them, it's a family affair. And like I said, I felt that the moment I linked up with you and Don Sicario, my guy Jason as well, one of the first guys I've ever had on the show. And he's always reached out to me, helping me grow the channel. And my guy NFE just said, we're over 1.7K. We're on our way to 2,000. We appreciate all of the support. Jason, I start just for people to chat that don't know. Myself and Jigga, we started on another channel, the Knights of Degen, which was an NFT. It was in the NFT space. We helped build that channel up to 1,500 subscribers, and then we had to take a step away so we could grow Morning Brew Sports. So we had to say bye-bye to the 1,500 we built that channel up to, and we had to start again from scratch. And over the past 6 to 8 months, we've been able to get back 1,700 of you guys subscribe to our channel. So we definitely appreciate all the support from all of you guys. This Thursday, I know it's Thanksgiving, but I will be live in the morning. Come join the conversation. We will have an open panel. It'll go on for quite a minute. We'll have a great start to the day. Next week, since I will be in Puerto Rico next week, I will be dark when it comes to Yanks Morning Brew content. Next week, I won't have any Yanks Morning Brew. I may be on Twitter with some Twitter spaces, but when it comes to YouTube, I won't have I'll be in the mountains in Utuado, so I ain't gonna have
he's gonna have the
Wi-Fi connection.
He's gonna have that capuria. He's gonna have the coquito. He's gonna have all that good stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be chilling down there.
Yo, listen. I want to say one last thing for the people that don't really know Hector. The first time I ever met Hector, like I didn't know this dude. I knew the content and whatnot. The first time I met him at the NYYU one of the events, my guy fed me. He gave me he let me share a bottle with him. We drank. He fed me, him and his wife, the beautiful family. Like this guy is a stand-up dude. So what you see here is what you get. Like this is not a front. He's not a front. Like he's a real dude. So for all of you that support the channel, support the dude, and my guy's he's doing big things for us out here. So
I want to definitely say that too. Like Hector, like I mean, shoot, we talked on the phone, we chopped it up. You know, he seen my boys and everything over the phone and stuff, and you know, real stand up dude, and also shout out to Jigga, man. Jigga's always killing it. You know, he's always like, you know, when every time he says get yanked, I was like, yo, that always made me laugh. Like Jigga brings that smile to your face too. You know what I mean? So shout out to Jigga, shout out to Hector. You guys definitely appreciate y'all.
I appreciate all you guys.
Man, I'm gonna echo the sentiment because you're the one that made. I'm a tech moron, okay? And you're the one that made it possible for me to actually do things on my channel. So I have you to thank for all that stuff. I can't say thank you enough. So thank you for that, man.
I appreciate that. Listen, and I just want to tell people, you know, I appreciate the words. You know, I always was taught that, you know, you just got to be your authentic self, right? If you do something for people, don't expect praises. Don't have a big billboard out that you want credit for everything. No, you just move in silent and you just help people out as you help them out. So that's how I was taught. That's how I was raised. And I just like to always just put the same energy into the universe that was given to me. I started in 19 Comment can tell you this. I started on open panels with my guy, Uncle Freezy from the Blorence Tears family, and that's how I got comfortable to start my own channel. I just want to throw that out there, but we got to wrap it up. Appreciate all of you beautiful fellas for joining me on the panel. Everybody that was in the chat. Jason, you got one more thing you wanted to add, brother?
Yeah, just the guys on the panel and everybody that's watching. I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Enjoy food and drinks. Peace and love to all of you.
Thank you for that, Jason. Peace and love. Happy gobble gobble day, and I'll see you guys back Thursday morning. Deuces.